We have news on why Norwegian has canceled all those Spirit cruises. The Ovation is on the move. Did a family get left in Alaska? All this coming up next. Well, good morning, Boundless Escapes family and friends. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so you can find out when I launch new videos, which is virtually every day. Now, let's get on with the stories. So right now, Royal Caribbean Ovation of the Sea is on the move. That's right. It sounds like I did some like moving, and then I did some like roboting. Not that I really know how to do it. I missed that whole craze, folks. Anyhow, Ovation of the Seas is on the move. Yeah, we're gonna stop this, aren't we? Okay. It sounds like it's just like a test type thing from what I have heard, from what I know, because it's just a temporary redeployment. Ovation of the Sea was supposed to be in Asia. It was supposed to be the second Royal Caribbean ship to serve Asia, but not any longer. It is being redeployed to Los Angeles, where it is going to do 3, 5, and 6 days out of Los Angeles. The Navigator of the Sea, which has been in California since 2022, will remain in Los Angeles and will remain on its current year-round itineraries through the Baja, Mexico, and the Mexican Riviera on 3 and 7-night cruises. The Ovation of the Sea will return in the winter of 2025 back to Asia to start cruising out of Singapore and start those cruises. The ship is going to be doing 11-night All right, folks. If you have had your cruise canceled on the Norwegian Spirit, or if you have heard about the Norwegian Spirit cruises and been wondering why, we finally have that answer. Apparently, a Taiwanese company has chartered the Norwegian Spirit, and they're going to be running cruises out of Taiwan to Japan for the rest of the summer, I guess you'd say. From June until September of this year, they're going to be running 4 and 5 day cruises from Japan to Taiwan. From Taiwan to Japan, I'm sorry. And then for the winter and the summer, for the fall and the winter of the rest of 2024 and 2025, they're going to run some 14 days from the Far East to Southeast Asia. They're going to visit Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. So that is some awesome news. They're going to do year-round starting in 2025, and I'm assuming if this is successful, either we're going to see a new cruise line eventually venture out of this, or they're just going to keep the Norwegian Spirit on I guess maybe a permanent lease type thing, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, I'll leave the information down below if you want to look into this, if you want to book it. I'll leave the information somewhere in this video, or you can see it on my past videos also, on how you can book this cruise. They're not really extremely expensive, because Norwegian will allow you to book the airfare. They will book you the airfare. They have a cruise airfare package, which is one thing I really like about Norwegian, that you can get on there. Plus, they have the drink, the Wi-Fi, the short excursion. They have a whole package. I'll leave the phone number, the email address down below, where you can call us, email us, and we can get you hooked up on these new vacations out of Taiwan or Norwegian Cruise Lines. So, this is a story that no one wants to hear about, but they do happen from time to time, unfortunately. It's a lesson. It's a lesson story, okay? The lesson is not what you think. If you've already heard or read about this story, the lesson is not what you think, okay? So there's a family of 9 from Tulsa, Oklahoma that got left by the Norwegian Encore in Alaska, okay? They were on a shore excursion, and all the news reports that I have seen taunted the fact that they were on an independent excursion, okay? Now, as you all know, people who have been with my channel and watch my videos know that I never book excursions through the cruise line. Personally, I just don't feel that pointing that out was, of real significance to the story because it scares people. I have never booked a cruise line excursion through the cruise line in 25 years. I either book independent or I book through my travel agent to essentially save money, okay? That's what my channel is about. It's about how to book travel wisely, okay? There's a difference. There's a difference. You can spend a ton of money booking travel. You can spend a ton of money. But me and a lot of other of us creators are about how to book travel wisely so you can travel more often, more or less, okay? So this family went to see the Lumberjack show, and yes, they did book independent, which I do not blame them for that, okay? They went after the show to get on the bus, and the bus operator was the father said the bus operator was just counting heads, not checking tickets for people who belonged on that bus. But they were just in a hurry to get people back to the ship, which does happen. When we was in Honduras, we actually had a lady walk around the beach saying, come on, it's time to go. The last shuttle is leaving to get everybody back to the ship, because everybody who was on that beach belonged on a cruise ship, and they knew it. And they were walking around the beach telling everybody, come on, everybody get on the shuttle so we can get you back to your ships. It happens a lot. It really does. And for those of you who cruise a lot and go on shore excursions a lot, y'all know what I'm talking about. It happens a lot. So the whole thing in this whole story, I was not there, so I just have to go by what I have seen, what I have heard. A lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey, the father said the bus was full, that they told them to wait for the next charter. I can understand that because the buses would keep rotating, as far as I know, until they went by and the bus wasn't full. Then the bus operator would get on the radio and say, hey, I've done picked up everybody. You don't need to come back any longer. I know that does happen. So, hey, what actually transpired, we will never know. We will never know. But apparently they did not contact the cruise line. They contacted the Port Authority to get transportation back to the pier. When they realized that it was getting close to their time for the ship to leave, they did not contact the cruise line. Apparently the Port Authority did not contact the cruise line saying, hey, we just heard from a group of your people. Okay. Now, I do know cruise lines will sit and wait. I know most people who do get left by the cruise ships are people who sit in the bar and drink too much, don't know what time it is. I do know that. Okay. I've been on tons of cruises over the last 25 years. I have had tons of, because back in the day, they did the captain didn't make announcements. Okay, people would just look at each other up against the banister going, why are we still sitting here? We're supposed to leave 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, whatever. people would be like this. Well, now the captain will make announcements. I've heard so many announcements since the pandemic. I've heard so many announcements from the captain explaining why are we still there. They'll come on board and they'll say, ladies and gentlemen, we're still waiting on, some people to return from tour. We're still waiting on 5 passengers to show up. One time we was in Honduras, and I think this is in another one of my videos. One time we was in Honduras. We was on a princess ship and we was behind a carnival ship. And if you've ever been to the pier in Honduras, okay, the piers are owned by the cruise lines, okay? Carnival owns that pier that you dock at in Honduras. So the only ships you're ever going to see at that pier is Carnival, Holland America, and Princess. That's it. So we was on the Regal Princess. We had a Carnival ship in front of us who arrived after us. They put us in the back because they knew a Carnival ship was going to be coming in. And if any of y'all been to Honduras, you know that there's not enough room to get a ship down that channel. It's just wide enough to back the ships in, put them up against the dock, let everybody off. You can't do it in reverse. And the captain told us the channel is too narrow. Carnival's waiting on one person to show up so they can leave. And he said even if the channel was wide enough for us to leave, we still couldn't leave because the Carnival ropes were on top of our ropes. So we were stuck like Chuck. So anyhow, so these people went and watched the Lumberjack show. They noticed that it was getting late. They called the Port Authority. They finally got transportation back to the pier. When they got to the pier, they saw the Encore heading out. So that's when they started frantically calling the cruise line or calling to get hotel arrangements, getting flights, yada, yada, yada. Here is the lesson. Always take your passports. Even though they were in Alaska, they were in the United States of America. They could not visit a foreign port because their passports and their medication was on board the ship. Now, I know the chances of a ship leaving you are slim. Very, very slim. But always, always, always buy travel insurance from your travel agent. Always use a travel agent, folks, okay? Buy your travel insurance. Take your passports, okay? I am guilty of leaving my passport on the ship. I really am. But because these people did not take their passports, they got fined $9,000 by the United States Customs authorities. Why? Because they did not have their passports, so they could not go to Canada. And under the rules of being on a cruise ship, you have to go to a foreign port first. Now, I don't know what their itinerary was. Maybe they started in Anchorage and they were doing the southbound trip. That's the only thing I can figure out on why they did not hit Canada first. They weren't doing the inside passage. They must have been doing the southbound trip. So, but I wanted to do this story. I know it was kind of long, but stories like this are very important because they're not only stories of, oh, that's a shame, but it's also a story of a lesson. It's a story of what to do. Take your passport. Buy cruise insurance, okay? Because these families out hotel, they're out flights. Norwegian did help them to an extent, but still, buy travel insurance. When you're in a situation like this, okay, most cruises you're going to visit a foreign port because that's all you're going to do is foreign ports. So you don't have to worry about the situation. But be mindful and just think a little bit, okay? I know most of you don't know the laws. You have to hit a foreign port before you return to the United States. That's why they got fined. They got fined like $850 a person or something like that because they did not hit a foreign port first. They did not have their passports. They were not allowed in Canada. They had to fly from the port they were in, the city they were in Alaska, back to the United States, and that's what happened. So, it's a bad story. I feel bad for these people, but if this story and my information helps out just one person, this channel is worth it, okay? please like, please subscribe, please turn the notification bell on, because the only help I get on this channel is from you, because I do not take paid advertisements. I do not do any kind of endorsements of any kind. So you are my complete support for this channel. This is fun for me. It's a hobby that I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing it for you. I love bringing you this information. So if you would not mind, just do something simple. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody's going to ask you any questions. Nobody's going to send you any emails. Nobody's going to send you text messages. Just like, turn that notification bell on, subscribe to my channel. I know I got all that backwards, but hey, that's cool. I'm human, okay? Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.